It's your boy Roy. I'm back. All right, I'm learning how to record again. So the last few videos have been kind of scuffed because I kind of forgot how to record completely. But that's not important because today what we're talking about is very important, and that's anime, guys. I know that everyone here loves anime. Anime is surely not cringe or not liked. I'm sure every single person here watching this video likes anime. And that being said, I just want to go into a little bit of a little tier list. You call them you'd call them maybe a One Piece tier list, maybe. So the actual reason I'm doing this, I finally am completely, and I mean completely, I'm caught up on One Piece, like entirely. I've read all of the manga, even the shit that just came out today, the stuff that literally just got leaked and spoiled. I just saw it. So I'm not going to talk about anything like big spoilers, hopefully, but I did want to make a arc tier list because I've watched all of them now. Okay, there we go. I got it in chronological order. So this is the One Piece tier list. Okay, I have another video I'm making as well, but this is the One Piece one because I finished One Piece first. So One Piece, all right. I liked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a whole nother video on the other channel, which is gonna go a lot more in depth on what I thought about One Piece. But anyone who is wondering what I thought about One Piece, great show. I went in, you wanna know how bad I disliked the show? I watched 200 episodes and I put it at a 3 out of 10. It wasn't, to be fair, it wasn't quite that bad. I was a little biased because I was so hateful of this pacing, and I still am. But I did not like this show going in. That being said, about 300 episodes in, I started to enjoy it, like a lot. Well, maybe not a lot, but enjoy it. 500, like the time skip, I really liked right before the time skip. Like, I think maybe it was 300, it was when I'm thinking right before time skip. But one of the arcs, really, really good. About halfway through, I started to really like it. Thought it was falling off sort of slowly, like it was like averaging out essentially is what it felt like at the level it was at, which was still not my favorite. But the newest and the arc that just finished that is already done, so good, so fucking good. One of the best arcs I've ever seen in anything. So let's go into it. All right, and I'm also, just for each arc, I'm going to say my favorite character. It'll be short, but I want to just get it out of the way. Romance Dawn, Zoro, by far my favorite character. I don't know why I put it in S tier. It's definitely not an S tier. This is an average start. I know a lot of people who say like One Piece or Naruto's first episode is great, and all these like the big three, Naruto's first episode is the best. I completely disagree. That being said, though, well, okay, it is maybe the best, I would say, but I just don't think any of them are like great, like some people say. Like, I don't think the first episode of Naruto is great. I don't think the first entire arc of One Piece is great. There's good parts. I really like Zoro. I do like Luffy, and it's decent. I just say it's average, right? And that's just kind of how it is at the start of a story a lot of the time. Orange Town, I did not like this. I didn't like this at all. Too goofy for me. Too goofy. I get it came out like 25 years ago, but still. It's my tier list, so I make the rules. Syrup Village, this is probably going to be a crazy hot take, but I actually think Syrup Village is probably right below. It could be at the bottom of B, but I'm not going to put it there just because I know how many other arcs there are. But know that I like this. Verite, I recently just I didn't really rewatch it, but I'm watching a React channel watch One Piece slowly, and they just finished this. And it did remind me of a lot of the good stuff. I will say though, I still have my problems with this. Like it's just average. Like, I think it's good. I like Sanji. I like him getting. Oh wait, I've been forgetting to say my favorite cat. Well, to be fair, it hasn't changed. It was Zoro. Even in this art, oh my god, that's, I'm putting Verite at the bottom of B, I think is how I'm gonna do it. Arlong, A, easiest day of my life. Really good. Would I say it's like this like peak? Like, I know a lot of people say Arlong is like genuinely peak. I don't think it's genuinely peak. I think it's great, but it's not quite there. There's still problems, especially, oh my god, I hated some of the early side villains, dude. They were actually insufferable. And I also think that another problem I kind of have is the pacing is slow still, which you're gonna hear every single arc, but it's just true. The whole show, the show's pacing is bad. And I don't think anyone who tells you otherwise is just actually lying. Like, I love this show now, but Jesus Christ, the pacing is slow. Then we got Logtown, which this was actually my favorite part of early One Piece, like early One Piece, because I just think this is super interesting. I had like such a feeling to it I can't replicate. I watched like all of it in the night because I loved it. Reverse Mountain, that's with the whale and all that. I like the whale, okay. The whale is cool. I forgot its name, but I promise you I liked it. I cried at its backstory, but we didn't see that yet. Well, I think we saw parts of it, but we didn't see the whole thing. So back then, I would probably put it at the bottom of C. However, in like, now having watched the whole show, I'd put it personally above Romance Dawn, but I would not put it above Syrup Village. Jesus, that's what I just said not to do. Whiskey Peak, I did not like this. It's not as bad as Orangetown, but I did not like this at all. I thought it was ass. I remember trying to watch these episodes. These were, until this point, by the way, until Whiskey Peak, I'd been watching most of these on my phone. Most, not all of them. Like Arlong, I watched a lot of Arlong and not on my phone, but pretty much every other arc here I watched on my phone. My phone is a good screen, to be fair. It's just, I will fully admit that it might have ruined my experience or something. Little Garden, I really like it looking back, but I just remember the feelings I felt when I was watching it, and I did not like the feelings I felt when I was... Well, no, to be fair, I actually did like the giant story. I just didn't like anything else other than the giant story. So that's bottom of C. Drum Island, great. I love Drum Island, man. I liked it more than Arlong. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but fuck, man, Drum Island was so good. It just does everything that One Piece does great. Also, the reason I haven't said my favorite character is because it's still Zoro. I will say this arc is Luffy became my favorite for this arc, because as much as I don't like him a lot of the time, he was 100% the best character in Drum Island, other than maybe Chopper, but Alabasta's hard because it's really long. Like, it is really long, and parts of it drag on. I also have a problem that I will say at the end of this video with the entire series, but I have a big problem with this arc. But it's good. Fuck, I see, personally, I'd put it, this is what I'm doing something crazy. It might be a hot take, but Arlong B, Alabasta at the bottom though. Jaya, I think this is the best. Do I put it in S tier though? That's kind of, no, I'm gonna just, Alabasta, by the way, favorite character, went back to Zoro. But Jaya, Zoro again, but Jesus, this arc was so good. Maybe I'm biased, I am, but I just loved it so much. Now Skypiea, pacing, this was, in my opinion, there's two other arcs that compete with this one for having the worst pacing. I think this one is hard to watch though. I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard to watch because when the pacing is bad in Skypiea, it pisses you off because Skypiea is actually good, but the pacing is miserable. So I'm putting it in B. But if it wasn't for the pacing, like if I was rating the manga, it'd probably be higher. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know, maybe the pacing's bad in the manga as well. But Long Ring, Long Land, worst arc in any show I've ever watched, really, honestly. I hated it so much. It was genuinely insufferable to sit through. I'm also not including any filler on here, by the way, because obviously, but I did watch all the filler. Water 7, this is probably where I started to like Luffy a bit more, but I would still say Usopp was my favorite in early Water 7. And I think we'll put Water 7 above Alabasta, we'll put it above Drum Island. I'd put it above all of that on. Well, maybe not Logtown, but I'd put Enies Lobby just below it. Not to say that it's bad, I just really think these two are super connected and they're kind of like needed for one another. And the pacing, and once again, is not the best, but everything else about it is pretty good. Post Enies Lobby, this is like the fight between, what's his name, the ice dude, and the new guy. Ugh. I've forgotten so many names. Kuzan, isn't it that or something? It's something like that. But good, but definitely I'd put it like B. Like it's good. It's just not super great. Thriller Bark. So it's really hard with Thriller Bark because I say like the first half I would have put this in D. I'm not even gonna lie, I would have probably put it in D, the top of D to be fair, but I did not like it. Second half we went somewhere that I actually kind of like. I really do like specifically Brook. I think Brook is my spot for the favorite character of this arc. I loved Brook. I still do, just not as much. I'd probably put it B. I put it below Skypiea though. Sabaody, this is like one of the best parts of early One Piece. Probably like that, honestly. And the more I'm looking at Jaya, though, to be fair, though, I really did love it. Like, I remember just watching like 5 of those episodes in a row because it had such a feeling. It had like That's the only way I can describe it. I just felt calm watching them. I don't know. It was really good. Amazon Lily. I don't know if this is like a love dark or anything, but I'd say it's better than average. But like, I preferred all of this. Just personally, I don't really care about the Woman Island arc, to be honest with you. There was cool stuff. Like I like Boa. Boa was really cool. But Luffy, I would say this is where Luffy pretty much takes over being my favorite for most of the show. Impelled Down, and obviously here because, you know, it's like a whole arc's focused about him. Impelled Down though, people really, really do love this arc, and I see why. Personally though, I really did not like parts of it. I think the pacing, once again, dragged at parts, like really dragged too. There's really cool stuff, like I think, how am I forgetting his name? Bon Clay. Bon Clay was really, really good here, and I actually think a lot of the stuff they do is super interesting and different. I actually really like I like a Prison Break arc. I don't think I've seen many other anime or manga really cover Prison Break type thing, because most of the time the heroes are obviously heroes. But it was cool. I liked it. Marineford. I know this is going to be crazy hot take, but I actually don't think Marineford is as good as Jaya, but I do like it. The pacing though, once again, I swear to God, Luffy was running for like 20 episodes straight in the same spot. I was losing it. I was like, dude, get there, please. You've been running for so long. This battle is massive. But it wasn't actually, just time was passing really slow. Post-war, crazy hot take here, but I think it's great. The entire Luffy flashbacks, oh, they're so good. They made me love Luffy so much more. I went from like, I'll be honest, Skypiea, I genuinely hated Luffy. I genuinely hated Luffy and Skypiea. Post-war, I actually started to like him quite a bit. Like, I would say I loved him, to be honest. He was really, really good. Good character, great backstory, fits him perfectly. Really cool stuff. Return to Sabaody, very hype, but also like not I wouldn't say it's like a great arc. It was just like, yeah, let's fucking go. They're back. So I'd put that in, no, C is low, honestly. I put it like there. Fishman Island, yeah, this is going straight to C. Really good ideas. Like, I actually love the whole Fishman like story with the fisherman being oppressed and all that. It's actually really, really cool stuff. And it has Jinbei, which is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. He's like a prominent feature, and then a lot of the like lore of the world gets revealed here. Very good arc. I actually do like this quite a bit. But there's two massive problems here, okay? The first one, the pacing, like always, the pacing was slow. And then the other big problem is Sanji. I like Sanji, okay? Don't get me wrong. Sanji's cool. I'm not one of those guys who's gonna be like, Sanji, I hate Sanji. But Jesus, he was insufferable in the Fishman Island. Like, normally stuff like that doesn't even bother me in anime. There's been one other show that I can think of that was like, holy fuck, this is actually frustrating me, and it was Fire Force. And Fishman did the exact same thing, where I was like, this is actually miserable. I actually cannot stand this. Punk Hazard, very biased towards this arc because I was honestly having a bad time when I was watching it. It's a good arc, but I'm gonna put it probably lower than it deserves just because the feelings I remember are so like average. I'd put it above Impelled Down though, to be fair, just not, and above Skypiea, let's be honest there. And the Barate, but not above Arlong. That looks more correct. Dressrosa, here comes the hottest take on this list. That's too low, to be honest, though. I'd put it there. Dressrosa, no, I'd put it above Fishman, to be honest, though. But the pacing of this arc is so bad. It is the worst pacing I think I've ever seen. Like, not even just an anime. I think it's just the worst pacing I've ever seen in storytelling. This shit was so slow. I was watching literally like 20 to 30 episodes every 4 days, or not 4 days, 3 days, I would say. I was spending pretty much all day when I was home watching One Piece. And I still took me like a month to finish this arc. To be fair, I took multiple breaks because I was like, oh my god, this is dragging so hard. But Jesus, really, really horrible pacing. Can't be understated. Like, I like a lot of this arc, but the pacing brutalized it. That being said, there is some very good stuff in it. Like, I think Law's entire backstory, 10 out of 10. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the entire show. And just for that, I will put it, I'll do this. I'll put it above these two. But you just have to know that I hate the pacing so much. The entire first half of this arc is slow burn in an already shitty paced show. So it is super slow. Like, I'm all right with slow burn stuff. Monster is one of my favorite animes I've ever watched, and that is one of the slowest build up shows I've ever seen. Like, nothing happens for like 20 episodes in that show sometimes, and I loved it. So it's not like I need action all the time. It's just, Jesus, it was so slow. The pacing, holy God. And the entire first half of the arc did have its problems. One thing I didn't like was the entire like gladiatorial arena whole thing. I think it was a cool idea, but I just don't think it was done well. I just think it was really bland and boring, and all of the fights felt like brain rot. Not my favorite arc, I'm not gonna lie to you. The only reason it's here is because of Law. Law carried this shit all the way to B tier for me. Zhao, I went in actually hating this. I was like, oh my God, it's a furry arc. Not that I have a problem with any furries out there if you're watching. I just was like, Jesus Christ, this is about to be terrible. I just have a feeling. And it was actually great. It was actually super, super good. The first like 10 episodes are rough of this, but it was otherwise pretty freaking solid. I'd put it below Water 7, but above Drum Island, honestly. Whole Cake Island, pacing here, still bad. Not as bad as Dressrosa though, but it was still bad. I was super tired of hearing Mama. That was getting super annoying. Otherwise though, I think it's great. Sanji, this is Sanji's best arc by far. Once again, I haven't been changing the character as I go because it's pretty much consistently Luffy from here on until I would say one part, which is Wano. Also, I don't even think Zoro was in most of these arcs actually, to be honest. Or if he was, it was like a small role. Especially Whole Cake. I don't think he was in Whole Cake at all. Good arc though, really, really good. I struggle to put it anywhere though because I feel like the pacing is bad still, but like I said, I loved the Sanji stuff. The Sanji stuff was so good. Like, you went from me starting to hate Sanji because of Fishman Island to, wow, okay, this guy's actually good. So we'll put it at the bottom of A. I think that's fair, honestly. Then we got the Revere. I don't remember how to say it, but this is a small little like in-between arc pretty much for what's it called after Whole Cake Island, and they like talk about the future of the world and stuff. Small little thing, but it was good. It's kind of unfair to rank it because it's like so small, to be honest, compared to all of these other ones. So I'll just put it in the bottom of B. How about that? That sounds fair. Now we get to my favorite arc. This is another incredible hot take, I'm sure, but Wano, by far my favorite One Piece arc. It's not even close. I'm super biased, to be honest with you, because I love swords. Bleach is one of my favorite. It probably is my, well, yeah, Bleach is my favorite anime. I have a sword over there. I have Rengoku's sword. My cat is named Tanjiro. Like, I love swords, okay? Swords are awesome. And anything like samurai, anything also is super cool. Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games. Like that era of Japan, I think it's called feudal era Japan. Very, very fucking cool stuff. Okay, honestly, you can write cool stories, and I don't think it was really that cool in history, but it feels really cool to play it. I'll tell you what. Great arc though. Great arc. There's so much good stuff here. I can't even spoil it all, but Luffy goes through the best story, like the best development of the entire show I've seen. Zoro gets a fucking 10 out of 10 fight. I'm not gonna lie, that is my favorite. Zoro became my favorite again just because of that fight, but Luffy will take it back just because Luffy's actually so good now. Sanji got a good fight. Almost everyone got a really good fight. The only person I was slightly disappointed with was Usopp, but even he does some cool stuff. They actually kill off characters, which, like I said, I was going to talk about it later, but I'll just talk about it now. One Piece has a very big problem, which is never killing off characters. And I know that people are going to be pissed at that probably, but let's be honest, it just did. And it's such a big problem with it. The only arc where it felt like they didn't have a problem with killing characters is Wano. Like Wano, I feel like they genuinely did kill characters. And even there, the two like main villains, we don't know if they're dead or not for sure. I mean, it's implied for sure. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely implied, but they don't show you. And to me, that kind of makes me think maybe they'll come back. And if they do, I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna lower my ranking of Wano quite a bit. And I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of every villain coming back. Every single character who dies comes back. It's so frustrating. I get it's like a happy, and I'm not gonna be one of those guys either who's like, I want everything to be like JJK and Attack on Titan, where characters just die when they like without plot armor. It feels like when they okay, that's a bad way of explaining it because they still have plot armor, but characters die willy-nilly essentially. I'm not saying it has to be that either. But I'm saying when a character like sacrifices themselves and all these other really important moments, because that happens a lot, and they don't die, it is super just disappointing. You look at it, you're like, ugh, that entire scene meant nothing now to me, essentially. Like, it's just frustrating. And then when they do, every time they do kill a character, it is literally some of the most sad stuff you will ever see. Like, it makes you feel terrible. In a good way, to be fair about, but it makes you feel terrible and you feel so sad for them. But it's still just, he doesn't commit to killing like almost anyone. I can think of maybe 4 people who've died and like have been big characters who are gone that aren't, I would say, like flashback deaths and stuff like that. I just don't like that, because like I know people are gonna be like, oh well, you said Bleach is your favorite anime, no one dies in Bleach. First of all, if you said that, you're wrong. I'm not gonna lie, you are wrong though. I understand where you're coming from, because it does feel like no one dies in Bleach until 1000-Year Blood War, but dude, people are dying in Bleach all the time. Like, the entire by the first arc, there was like 3 dead people. Were like pretty major characters. Like, there's deaths, okay? And I'm not gonna say that makes Bleach better than One Piece, Bleach better than One Piece. I'm not gonna be like that. I prefer Bleach over One Piece, but both are really good to me. I just have a problem with that specifically, and Bleach is an example of another really popular show that I've seen people complain that characters don't die, which is just crazy to me. I'm getting off at a tangent, but Wano, very good. And honestly, like I said, this is one of the only arcs where he isn't afraid to kill characters, and it works super well. I'd put it, this is like the best arc of all of One Piece, unless we include Egghead. I don't want to talk too much about Egghead because it is still coming out actively. But I've now read, well, okay, I watched all the anime. I watched until where the anime is up to. And I read all the manga in like 2 days to catch up. Well, yeah, to catch up to the leaks. And then the leaks literally just came out today. And I've seen all of it. Egghead is literally just the best arc in One Piece. It's not even close. I love Wano. But Egghead has pretty much no flaws from what I've seen so far. The pacing is significantly better. The fights are so much like, there's so much stakes to them. We're getting to the climax of the story. The lore and the world building is reaching its peak. Like, this is, in my opinion, Egghead is the peak of One Piece so far. It is actually ridiculous. The backstory, everything, it's just so good. And then also to mention, the animation in Egghead, it finally feels like One Piece found its own like art style, I would say, because this has always been a big complaint for me, is a lot of shows and a lot of animes feel like they don't have their own art style. It feels like it's one studio, or a studio trying to like copy early Naruto, well, not even early Naruto, but like late Naruto and Bleach, and even late One Piece as well, but all of them felt like way too samey. But nowadays, I'm seeing this world where animes are actually taking their own unique art styles and stuff and unique approaches. Like, you got like Chainsaw Man, the first season, which I don't like, okay, I don't not like it, to be honest. Like, I do like Chainsaw Man season 1, but they take a very different approach. So it's like cinematic and movie-like, and I think it's great. Even though it's not what I would have done, I think it's a really cool style. You got shows like Demon Slayer with their own super unique style. Bleach has like the crazy art style where everything looks super fucking like badass and cool. One Piece's style though is so good. It feels like a cartoon. The sound effects are like, it's just refreshing to watch. Like, genuinely, I sit there and I watch it, I'm like, wow, I'm feeling good just watching this. This is fucking awesome. So very, very good stuff, honestly. I'm a huge, big fan of the Egghead Island arc, I'm not gonna lie, and by the time it's done, it'll probably, it might put One Piece in my top 5 anime of all time, which is crazy because my top 5 is like it's contested, yo. Like there's some big hitters up there, but it might be in top 5. If you are wondering where it is on my list, let me think. I have a list on my phone. Let's pull it out before I end the video. Cut this out, future me. So we got number 1. Wait, I can switch off this screen. Oops. So we got my number 1 anime was Bleach, which I don't think is ever going to change. I'm not going to lie to you. I've watched a lot of really, really good shows, and just know this is my favorite. This isn't the best. If I was making an objective, like this is the best animes, Bleach would unfortunately not be number 1, but it is my favorite, so it's going to be number 1 for my favorites. Code Geass is second. I love Code Geass. I think it's genuinely great. It's the perfect ending to a show. 10 out of 10, absolute masterpiece. If you include movies, I put the Silent Voice at 3, but we're going to skip over that because it's a silent voice and it's a movie. But very, very good. Black Lagoon would also be 3rd. So we'll just say Black Lagoon is 3rd because I love Black Lagoon. It's just super entertaining show, super fun. Love is War is 5. Love is War is there's 2 good rom-com animes that I've ever seen. And it's Bunny Girl Senpai and Love is War. Both of them actually funny, actually good shows. Genuinely good. Number 6 is Hunter x Hunter. And this is, to be fair, this list is before One Piece, and I'm going to tell you where One Piece would be. So One Piece won't be on here yet. Number 6 is Hunter x Hunter. Number 7 is Attack on Titan. And to be fair, the only reason Attack on Titan is not higher is because now that I've watched Code Geass, I think Code Geass stuck the landing just a tiny bit better. So personally, I put that over it. And then it's also, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've thought about Attack on Titan because I finished the manga and I watched the episodes as they came out, but since then I haven't rewatched it or anything like that. Number 8 is Full Metal Alchemist. I think it's pretty much a flawless show. Number 9 is Monster, and number 10 is Demon Slayer. Still my favorite anime when it comes to animation. That being said, if I was putting one, and to be fair, on this list, which by the way, I said Naruto and One Piece are probably tied for 11th. Naruto is probably a better time watching, but One Piece's peaks are very high. I wrote that like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. No, not even. It's almost been a year actually. Holy. But I wrote that then. And now having finished One Piece, man, it would be tough. I think it would, what would I put it? I'd put it barely above Full Metal. No, I'd put it. This is gonna hurt me to. This is crazy. It's not gonna hurt me to like somewhat does because I love these other shows so much. But so Demon Slayer would probably be 11th. I love Demon Slayer, but it'd probably be 11th, and it will always be right there in my top 10, and maybe it would even still be in my top 10. Monster would be 10th. Full Metal would be 9th. One Piece would be One Piece would be 8th. Attack on Titan would be 7th. So we are really, you're getting there. And I think if I was to include Egghead, like if I'm imagining Egghead fully animated, yeah, I can see it getting at least 6th, because 6th is Hunter x Hunter, and I can put it above Hunter x Hunter. Oh, my mom's calling. Hello? What's up? But yeah, moral of the story, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm just kidding. Don't judge a show, I guess, by its first 300 episodes. And also, to be honest, though, I'm not going to be the type of guy who's going to be like, every single one of you needs to watch One Piece right now. Because it's not for everyone. I'm just not going to lie to you. It's just not. Not everyone's going to love One Piece. But if you are at all interested in it, I actually do suggest it now. I think it's actually good. And if you're willing to watch 1,000 episodes, it's actually really 1,100 to be fair. But if you're willing to watch that many episodes, then you know what? Go for it because you'll love it. That's about it.